Hey everyone, Soumya here from Art and Alchemy. In today's video, we'll set our bullet journals up for the month of October. This month we're doing cute and simple fall doodles and I'm absolutely excited for it. So without further ado, let's get planning. I'll be using my Tombow brush pens and some fine liners as usual. All the supplies will be linked below in the description box, so check that out if you're interested. After going through a bunch of colors that represent autumn, I narrowed my color palette down to these three muted colors. Let's get started with the cover page. I'm writing the title in simple brush lettering font and I'll eventually draw all the doodles around it. I'm usually very excited around this time of the year for two reasons. One, October is my birthday month, and two, fall has always been one of my favorite seasons. I actually never got to experience this season in person, but I truly enjoy the idea of fall. My goal with this theme was to keep the setup as simple and less time-consuming as I could. In order to achieve that, I limited my color palette to only 3 colors. I kept the doodles so simple that I did not need to sketch them beforehand. That saved me a lot of time. As for the doodles, there are a bunch of different things that represent fall, like leaves, sweaters and scarves, beverages, and all things cozy. As much as I wanted to include them all, I tried limiting the doodles to fall botanicals only, as they are the easiest to doodle. On the left side, I'm going to sketch a tiny calendar and add some doodles around it. Honestly, I found it a little intimidating to directly doodle with a marker without the pencil sketch, but I tried to loosen up and embrace the imperfections that came with it. And just like that, our cover page is all done. Before we move on to any other spreads, I quickly wanted to show you how to doodle all the botanicals. First, let's start with the classic maple leaf. Draw a guide as shown for the leaf shape. Using the brush tip, broaden each line to make a leaf shape and leave out the bottom one. Next, we'll draw oak leaf. Draw 2 curved lines like this for the guide. Add a wavy line like so and curve it to make a rounded top. Keep the bottom pointed. Next, for the acorn, draw an inverted triangle as a guide and curve the edges out, keeping the bottom pointed, and fill it in. Draw the top and the stalk like so. For the tiny yellow flowers, draw 4 petals as shown. You can use a plus shape as a guide if you need to. Add the stem and the leaves. The next doodle is very simple. Draw a curved line and add some leaves around it as shown. Next, for the berries, draw 3 circles and add the stem and the crown. This is another leaf shape, simple and easy. Next is the mushroom. For this, using a triangle as a guide, draw a blob shape. Add a broad stem at the bottom. Now for the last doodle, draw 4 dots like this and connect them to the stem as shown. The best thing about botanical doodles is that they have very organic shapes, so don't worry too much about perfection. As you keep doodling, you can skip using the guides for a cleaner look. On the right page, I'm adding a simple quote that says, "Autumn shows us how beautiful it is to let things go." Now, next up is my monthly timeline spread. I introduced this spread last month instead of the calendar, and it's been working well for me. I numbered the days vertically and marked all the weeks. The right page is for my monthly task dump. This is where I write down all the tasks that come to my mind and move all the open tasks from the previous month. Before we move on to the next spread, if you've been enjoying this video, do take a moment to subscribe to my channel. Your support truly means the world to me. Next, we have our monthly focus. Here, I write down my intentions and priorities for the month, along with books I want to read and skills I want to learn. On the right is my sleep tracker. I'm adding the dates vertically and the hours from 10 p.m. to 9 a.m. on the top. I added 2 vertical lines to indicate my ideal sleep timings and divided the weeks. This makes tracking really simple. Next, let's set up our weekly spread. I'm going to try a different layout for my weekly spread this time. I tried using time boxing technique and following a daily schedule in my bullet journal for one of the weeks in September. We all know that time boxing is a powerful technique to make the most of each day, and I wanted to explore it for another month before I figure out if it is working for me or not. So I came up with this setup where I divided the pages into 4 vertical sections. The first section is for my weekly task dump. I added a quote at the bottom that says, "Just start and it's half done." For the next few sections, I left the top portion for my daily tasks and the bottom 2/3 of the section for adding the hours of my workday. I do the same thing for all the days of the week and add a space for weekly review at the end. I enjoy trying out new layouts and implementing new techniques every now and then in my bullet journal. What I love the most about bullet journaling is I have so much creative freedom to customize my layouts according to what each of my weeks demand. That finishes our weekly spread, you guys, and it's now finally time for the flip through. I love how cute these doodles look. I had so much fun setting these spreads up. Let me know what you like the most about this setup. Drop in any theme suggestions that you might have in the comments below. Lastly, if you recreate any of my themes, feel free to tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see them. Thank you so much for joining me in today's planning session. I'll see you in my next video. Bye everyone!